In 2025, we plan to come out with a ton of new products for your Honda four-wheeler and side-by-side. In front of me is just one of those products. It is a brand new Radiator Relocate Kit for your 2014 and up Honda Rancher, Foreman, and Rubicon. Now, this is nothing like our other design. This is a complete plug-and-play system, and your dealership won't even know that you ever had them. Whereas our other design, you do have to do some modifications. Now, everything in front of me is what's going to come in the kit. Of course, we got the brand new radiator bracket, and we do have a center snorkel bracket. This is going to come free, unlike our other design. We also have the radiator mounts and these super innovative bushings that is a complete plug-and-play system for your radiator to mount to your rack. We've got full-length hose that are going to come with it, hardware, and your coolant reservoir mount with extended hose. Now let's get into the install.
All you should have to install our rad kit: flathead screwdriver, deep well socket and ratchet, and a 10mm wrench. 3 tools. This is technically 3 or 4 piece, 3 piece if you don't have the center snorkel bracket, 4 piece if you do. It is all 1 piece though, the actual rad kit itself. You have the brackets that hold the radiator into the rad kit and then the snorkel bracket. And have to drill any holes in your front rack. You use these clamps right here to clamp it down on the front rack. There is no drilling required. All right, guys, first things first, after you removed your radiator from the bike as stock, I've already connected our hoses. You have 2 hoses, 1 short hose, 1 long hose. The long hose goes right here and goes to the top of the radiator itself. The short hose goes to that fitting right over there and goes to the bottom of the radiator itself. Find you some foam or something. I just have some foam, a piece of carpet so you don't scratch the surface of your nice new rad kit. Flip it upside down like so. Have the open side facing towards you. If you are going to go with a center snorkel kit, one of our center snorkel kits, a center snorkel bracket that comes with this rad kit, you will need to install it before you put your radiator into the rad kit. And it simply slides over the studs like that. If the rad kit is facing down, the tab faces down on the center snorkel bracket. And you have some adjustment to where you want your center snorkel at. So we're gonna leave that, we're gonna push it all the way up there and make it as close as we can get it. Over to these are the same exact thing. They just go on there 2 different ways because of the radiator itself. The tabs are in different spots. So one will have the holes towards this side, the other will have the holes towards that side. Just make sure you don't mix them up. You can, when you put them on there on the radiator itself, they should both look just like that. Set that one up there just like so. Set this one up there just like so. Now you're going to take the hex head bolts, stick it through the inside just like that with a washer on the inside. You're going to use just the serrated nut on the outside just like that. And you want to leave all these loose until you get the radiator mounted in the rad kit, because if you tighten these up and then try and tighten it down on the studs of the rad kit itself, it will bow the rad kit and it will look all kind of wonky. You don't want to do that. Remember, leave them loose. Leave them all loose. All right, now that those are on, we're going to take our radiator and set it in the rad kit itself. Slides in just like so. Falls right over the studs. Play where you can adjust it how you want. You want it all the way pushed up where these little plastic tabs are about sitting on that. You want them sitting on that. Now you want to take the 4 other serrated nuts, put on the studs, and tighten them down. Some of these are a little tricky. You just got to get them down on there and get them started. Before y'all start tightening it down, make sure all these sitting flush up against that. You can tighten the front ones down or whichever way you want to do it. Time to tighten the brackets onto the radiator itself. Remember, you're supposed to leave them loose. Everything's tightened up as it should be. Now it's time to set the rad kit on your four-wheeler. All right, quick note, guys. If you have a 2014 to 19 Rancher or Foreman, you are going to route the lower coolant line straight down over to the left side of the bike, just like it is shown here, up and back down the hole where your coolant reservoir and radiator cap used to sit back down in there. And that is to keep the line from getting pinched in any kind of way so proper coolant flow is achieved. As doing so, you want to gently set it right there. Pull this out.
What are you pulling out?
The radiator hose itself. And she goes on there, just like so. Slide your hose clamp on. Take your other radiator hose. Slide it on there, just like so. Now you want to tighten up your hose clamp. You use this flathead screwdriver or 8mm. It does not matter to me, whichever y'all prefer. Don't forget to tighten this one up. All right, so these are your clamps / spacers that hold the rad kit on itself. It simply slides over just like that. You put the bolt through it, and it's easy to go. One piece, baby, one piece. All right, now on the bottom piece of the clamp, you're gonna slide it up, just like so. Grab your 10mm wrench, and now you wanna put the big flat washers on the bottom. It may be a little tricky sometimes. All right, guys, now when you're tightening these clamps down, you do not want to over tighten them. Just snug them pretty good because you will break them. Now the next step, you are going to plug in your radiator fan down here. Plugs in and just sits right there. After that, you're going to fill your bike full of coolant. It will take 15 to 20 minutes to get the bike up to temperature when you got coolant in it. It will seem like it's full. Leave the radiator cap off for a minute. If it starts coming back out just a little bit while it's running, put it on there for a minute while it's running and watch your temperature gauge. As soon as it starts to go up towards the past 3 bars, shut the bike off, let it cool back down. That means the thermostat's opened up and allow the rest of the coolant to circulate properly. And then you just top it back off and put the cap on and you're good to go. This is going to be the new mount for the coolant reservoir. It's going to come with this mount, 3 serrated bolts, 3 serrated nuts, extra vent line. And also, you will use the original retaining clips on your coolant reservoir vent line. So you just take them off, put them on this new line, you'll be ready to go. Let me show y'all how to install this thing. The long side is going to be your top. This one's labeled top because it ain't powder coated yet, but the long side is going to be the top. So you can take that, put your bolt through there, put it through where one of the original push pins went for the side covers of the radiator. Put the nut on and leave it loose. Don't tighten her all the way down, just like so. Next step, you're going to take your stock coolant reservoir, grab another nut and bolt, or a bolt through the top hole like so. Put the nut on the back, and this is the stock location for the top mount of the coolant reservoir. Make sure this is loose. Put this over here like so. Put your bolt in there, then put your serrated nut on the back of it. Now you can tighten all of them down, and then you're going to run your new included vent line for the reservoir up through the hole in the middle that is already there. And that's how you install the coolant reservoir back in the stock location with our new tab.